on looking for that Bell Moto Whole Shot Award and the $100 from Bell Helmets. Now as the gate is down on this one and our riders rolling into that first turn now. Sweeping that Bell Helmets Whole Shot Award is going to be Landon Gordon, Luke Fowler, Will McCure, 1, 2, and 3. Tristan Dalton back in the number 4 spot with Dannon Reed in 5th aboard the 44. There's Chase Lawton. Looks like a good start for him in the number 6 spot with Austin Schaefer, the 36 and 7th. Braxton Watson, Canyon Richards, Kalina Humphrey, and of course that's all changing as these riders make their way into the short chutes now. And look at this, challenge is already being made to Gordon by Fowler as they pull up side by side heading through the 10 Commandments. And looks like Fowler on the inside might have a slight advantage. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. Gordon on the outside. Here we go towards Storyland. They're side by side, and look at this, Gordon. Oh, maybe not. Fowler pulls that trigger, but he still can't solidify the pass. They're still side by side rolling in now nose to tail, and Fowler has the slight advantage, at least for the moment. Gordon dives underneath on the far reaches, and Gordon takes over the number 1 spot again. These guys have swapped back about 3-4 times already here on lap number 1. Landon Gordon out front. Look at this, trying to solidify that spot, but Fowler's not letting him do it right now. Still keeping him honest, but a little more real estate as we roll into the final turns here around the big Thor sweeper and the Polysport Pond now as we head into that final turn. The hard left-hander now as these riders dig deep. Fowler trying to dig the deepest. He's going to have to try to get around that number 80 machine. These guys had a great battle in Moto number 1, and we're just picking up right where we left off. Fowler, though, I think had to come from behind in that first moto, so he had his work cut out for him, and here in this second moto gets off to a better start, so this is turning into a great battle. Will McCure is still in 3rd, Kalina Humphrey 4th, Alvin Hillen in the number 5 spot, Canyon Richards now 6th, Dannon Reed in 7th, Braxton Watson in 8th, Colt Golombeski in 9th, and Brandon Comerford rounding out the top 10. Tyler Mollett, Blake Presby, Tristan Dalton, Nathan Humble, and Caden Weisenhower. They round out your top 15, and I have to say this has been one of the most consistent from the Bell Whole Shot line to the finish line that I've seen a class, I think, so far here in 2019 at Loretta Lynn's. They all started out at the front of the pack, and they're jockeying back and forth for that position. We got a great battle going on for 6th right now with Canyon Richards leading that battle. He's about a half second ahead of the 44 of Dannon Reed. Braxton Watson, 3/10 of a second behind him. 4/10 of a second behind him is Colt Golombeski, and another 4/10 back is Brandon Comerford. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders battling for the 6th place spot as we roll through lap number 2. Gordon and Fowler still running 1st and 2nd, enjoying about a 5-second lead over the 96 of McCure. McCure got about a 1-second lead over Kalina Humphrey, actually establishing that and trying to stretch it out as they crossed the finish line there a few moments ago. Alvin Hillen another second back in 5th, but again, Canyon Richards, the rider under fire. However, he did turn a little faster lap time, so he might have a little clearer and freer racetrack out there, so we might see Richards start to stretch this one out and leave Reed, Watson, and Golombeski as well as Comerford to battle then for the 7th place position. So Fowler still following Gordon now at the finish line. 2:12 lap time. Fowler at 2:13. Will McCure now coming in around for that 3rd place position. We should see him about 8 seconds back now. Let's see what the 10 seconds now, and that's Alvin Hillen as he's gotten around Will McCure. McCure dropping to 5th. Kalina Humphrey up to 4th, so McCure making a bit of a mistake there. All right, I was just told Alan Bruto's getting the cutting torches out. They're about ready to. They got a lock on that trailer, so they're cutting that trailer up. The Big Tex trailer is actually going to be disassembled to be moved. It has to be moved now, and there is no waiting. So if that's your Big Tex trailer, you better hurry down there because they're getting ready to start cutting and moving it out of the way. It has to be moved now. It's an emergency situation. Landon Gordon, Fowler. Now, here's the real race, the fun times. Alvin Hillen moving up into the number 3 spot. He turned a 2:16 lap time that last time around. He's getting in close to the reaches of Luke Fowler and Landon Gordon, and he did that coming through the traffic. You got to wonder now with a little freer, clear racetrack, about 10 seconds of gap between he and second place, if Alvin's going to be able to pick that pace up as we look to the 22. Moto number 1, we saw that he finished 8th place, so this second moto is obviously turning better results for him, at least here in the early part of the race. 6 minutes in now as our leaders do in about 20 seconds. And rounding that last couple of turns, we see them making their way in now. Here is the number 80 of Gordon, and there is Fowler. And we look back just a little bit further, coming off of the big sweeper turn there. The Rocky Mountain ATV MC sweeper turn is that third place ride of Hillen now, as he makes his way into the heart of this race course. There he is, and let's see what kind of lap he was able to turn now as he made his way into that third place position. There's Gordon over the tunnel jump heading toward the billboard now. Fowler not far behind. Hillen now, he did have a 10-second gap, turned to 2:16 in the traffic. Let's see if he was able to best that and see if he's able to 2:17. He actually drops a little bit, loses a little time there. Kalina Humphrey in 4th. Will McCure now still in that number 5 ride. But looking at this now, only about 4 seconds off the pace of Fowler, so he's in a pretty good position now. It looks to take that 3rd place and some Moto bronze there. Far cry better than that 8th place position he saw in Moto number 1, so I know he's going to be pretty excited just to maintain the 3rd place position, but can't rest on his morals. Kalina Humphrey, Will McCure, and even Braxton Watson back there in the number 6 spot. They're looking and itching to take that position away. Colt Golembeski now in the number 7 spot aboard the 48. Blake Presby, the 8th place ride aboard the number 80. Then Canyon Richards is 9th. Clark Robbins now breaking into the top 10 aboard the 62. Dannon Reed in the 11th. Nathan Hummel is 12th. Colby Goff out from outside the top 15 now into a 13th place position. Austin Schaefer the 36th and 14th. And Nick Stefanik is rounding out your top 15. Working on 8 minutes into this 20-minute moto. And a long day of racing here at Loretta Lynn. So folks, don't forget, coming up tonight, we got some pretty cool stuff going on over at the Lucas Oil Arena. And we've also got chapel services. Don't forget about that. That's right, chapel services with the Reverend Kevin Kozad coming up with MXers from MXers for Jesus there. We had a great chapel service, church service there on Sunday morning. I looked down there. There had to be 150, 200 people or more there, standing room only. They were packed in, and they were packed all around the tent. 25 people went to the creek for an old-fashioned baptism to be baptized in the creek here on Sunday. So I know they're looking forward to chapel services and feeding their souls tonight. So, folks, go over and join them and celebrate their new life there through MXers for Jesus and chapel services tonight at 7 o'clock. Also coming up about 8 o'clock is FMF karaoke at the FMF pits. By the way, church service is taking place at the FMF pits also. And at 8 o'clock tonight, we also have the MX versus ATV Loretta Lynn's Video Game Championship. And 32 players are going to be going head-to-head here tonight for the MX versus ATV Championship. Should be a good one. 4 laps down now for our leaders in the 65 10-11 limited class. The 2:11.783 is the fast lap time that we've seen. That was on lap 3. Gordon slowing it down to a 2:12 with a 7-second lead now over the number 4 Fowler. Hill now about 17 seconds back behind Fowler in that 3rd place position, and owning another 7 seconds between himself and 4th place, the 59 of Kalina Humphrey. Will McCure still back in the number 5 ride. McCure, the 96, had a 3rd place position finish in Moto 1 as Lynx Racing Chris Gibson Holmes back machine, so he's looking to better himself before Moto in, and he's in a good position to do it as he's rolling up and reeling in Humphrey for that fourth place position. A 3-4 bodes much better than a 3-5 when it goes to scoring championships. Braxton Watson in 6th now as Presley drops off to 7th, running into a little trouble there on lap 3, it looked like. Colt Golembeski now in 8th, Canyon Richards in 9th, and Clark Robbins rounds out your top 10 after 4 laps of racing. Leaders coming around now for the conclusion of lap number 5. Landon Gordon just past the halfway point. We'll get the cross flags indicating the halfway point of this moto, but about 9 minutes of actual racing left before we'll see the checkers fly on this second moto. Gordon grabbing the whole shot and has not looked back. Had a little bit of competition out of Fowler on that first third of a lap or so as they made their way through the Storyland. That's where the story changed in the far reaches. Gordon just basically established himself in that number 1 spot and has not been under any fire, not any pressure whatsoever since that moment. Nearly a 10-second lead now for Gordon over Fowler as they wrap up lap number 5. Hillen checking in nearly 20 seconds back behind Fowler. And now what's going on between McCure and Humphrey? I believe we should see. Yes, we do. There's the 96 into the number 4 spot as he gets around Humphrey. Humphrey dropping to the number 5 spot, just a second back. But there's 8 seconds between McCure and a podium position, and only about 8 minutes of racing left to go. So McCure is going to have to really dig deep if he wants to get back into medal contention. But still, again, as we said, a 3-4 bodes much better than a 3-5 when it comes to scoring those championships at the end of the week. About halfway through lap number 6 now. Checking in with some of our other riders out there. Will McCure, as we watch him now heading through the 10 Commandments, and in his rearview mirror still the number 59 of Kalina Humphrey. I have to wonder though, now there's a 21-second gap back to Blake Presley, now back into the 6th place position after a little miscue there on lap 3. But McCure had a 1-second lead. He has now extended that 1-second lead to probably about, we'll call it about 7 or 8 seconds now. I didn't even see the 4th place ride of Alvin Hillen checking through there on the 22. And again, Kalina Humphrey, Alvin Hillen, and then Kalina Humphrey back there. No, it was Will McCure's in 4th. He's trying to track down. I'm getting a little confused. Sorry, guys. It's late in the day. I'm losing it. I lost it. Yeah, give me some wings, man. Somebody, Mario, bring me a Red Bull with that, that special one. What was it? Ehab said that the button-pushing union, he had to leave because the button-pushing union wouldn't let him stick around any longer. So the microphone speaking into union is calling me, too, and telling me I put too much time in today. Too many words. Not so much time, but I put a lot of words in.
He's on a word count.
Yeah, word count. I get paid by the word, by the way, if you guys haven't figured that out. Hillen checking in now 24 seconds back in that number 3 spot and a 5-second lead. Wow. McCure has shaved off a little bit of that lead, so I was thinking at that point, the way lap times were looking, that McCure may not have that big of an opportunity to reel in Hillen. But as we look at this lap time, Hillen dropping to a 2:23. McCure in that 2:20 range is shaved off a little bit of time, so it's down now down to 5 with 5 minutes remaining. Hey, we still might have a shot there for the 96 to get that podium spot. Working on lap 7 now as we're back up front with our leader. And folks, I want you to take a look at something. Look at this racetrack. We keep talking about it and how demanding it has become and challenging and basically really great racing. I say raceable and great racing it produces. But I will say this, as great as our camera shots are, TV does not do it justice. It looks bad on TV. I can promise you, you can multiply that. I don't want to say bad, but it looks great on TV. It looks even greater in real life. When you get to go stand next to a track like that, you know there has been championship caliber racing put forth on that racetrack all day. Gordon now caught up in some lap traffic as things might slow down for him, and this might be a saving grace now for Alvin, well, not so much Alvin Hillen, but Will McCure as he's trying to track down Alvin Hillen. If Hillen gets in that same lap traffic here soon, we might see him start to slow down. That might be what happened on lap 6. Let's see here on lap 7 as he's due to check in here any moment with 7th lap complete, and McCure trying to close that gap up. We'll see how much of the gap he has been able to handle here as there comes the 22 now. There's out. Look at this. Well, no, that was the 23, but that's the 22 of Hillen checking in, a 2:20. So he picked his pace back up, 25 seconds still behind Luke Fowler, but McCure 6.6 seconds. So McCure actually slowed down that time. Big pushes for him throughout this entire race. Got him in position and looked like he might be in striking distance, but hey, late in the race like this, shadows running long, I'm sure mistakes come a little easy and they compound quickly as well. So from a just over 2:20 now to just a 2:21, so losing a second on that lap, and that's what we're saying. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all to lose any time to see things change here in the world of amateur motocross. About 3 minutes or so, we should be seeing a white flag come out, I think, this next time around. 7 laps down, and our top 10 again, Gordon, Fowler, Hillen, McCure, Kalina Humphrey in the number 5 spot. Blake Presty has settled into the 6th place position. Colt Golembeski is 7th. Braxton Watson, the 41 machine, is 8th place. Nathan Hummel, the 28 Cobra, in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 after 7, the 16 of Kenyon Richards, Clark Robbins, Austin Schaefer, Dannon Reed, Kobe Goff, and Nick Stefanisic rounds out your top 15. White flag, I believe, will be coming out this next time around. And we'll be heading down to the Racetech podium with Jason Wygant, reminding you Racetech Engine, a championship-proven team and the industry's most desired state-of-the-art equipment, ensure that Racetech's precision engine services provide a setup to whole shot the competition. So I want to say thanks to Racetech for helping bring us that part of the live coverage here this week. Also, a special thanks to our friends at AirMed, who provide us with great insurance coverage. Membership starting at $85 a year. That's secure peace of mind. With the AirMed network, members can take comfort in the knowledge that they should they experience a medical emergency, there will be no out-of-pocket experiences if flown by an AMCN provider. Join today. Stop by the AirMed Care Network booth located here at Loretta Lynn's today, and or apply online at AmericanMedCareNetwork.com/apply. Jason Wygant refueling the microphone before he heads down. Lap 8 in the history books, working on lap 9, and a checker flag coming out in about 1 minute and 15 seconds for Gordon, barring no problems. Kid's been turning consistently faster laps than everyone out there on the track. 2:12s for a good portion, 2:11, 2:12 there for the good first half of the race, dropping now to the 2:15, 2:16, 2:17 as he sees 11 seconds of real estate between himself and Fowler, knowing that he can go into a little more relaxed mode here in the closing moments. Gordon, Fowler, and Alvin Hillen will be your top 3. Landon Gordon taking the Bell Helmets Whole Shot Award today. So he'll get Moto Gold, his 2nd Moto Gold, and he'll also pick up another $100 there from our good friends. Our good friends there at Bell Helmets. Sorry, I got sidetracked there for just a second. But nonetheless, Gordon, there he is, coming into the final turns now. And an amazing race day here at Loretta Lynn's, as we saw a third consecutive day where these bikes are on the track in beautiful and comfortable temperatures. Landon Gordon puts the seal on this race day with capping off the win here in the 65cc 10 and 11-year-old class. Luke Fowler coming around, and again, barring no major miscalculations out there, Alvin Hillen should be your third place finisher on board the number 22, as Fowler's already in for checkers in that second place position. As you see, Hill and Humphrey, McCure. Wow, McCure was challenging for a third place again in that fourth place position, but finds some trouble out there. It looked like that maybe that push got just a little better, a little more of him than what he looked for, and made a little mistake, but nonetheless dropping back to fifth. Should finish strong there. Blake Presty, good solid ride for him there today in sixth. Dropped back a few positions, but has been able to move back up and maintain that position for the for the biggest part of this second moto, the 65, 10, and 11-year-old riders. Lena Humphrey is in. McCure, that'll be your top five. Those unofficial results brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com, your one-stop shop for parts, accessories, apparel, and a whole lot more. Get ready. Heading down to the Race Tech podium now, where Jason Wygant will talk to our top three overall.
Completely lost control of the medals here down the stretch. Last run of the day, and this guy made it count. I got the gold for him, and I believe that's also a whole shot award. Let's hand it over to Landon Gordon. This way. There we go. You got it. Well, Landon, you were ripping out there right from the start. Obviously, with that Bell Helmets whole shot award, how was that moto for you?
It was pretty good.
Got to feel good about that. Anything tricky out there, or was it pretty smooth?
There's a couple big bumps out there. For these little tires, it's hard.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt on a 65 and a 20-minute moto. Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ to keep me safe. My mom, dad, brother, sister, Thor, 60, Scott, Alpine Stars, Pro Circuit, Dunlop, Mika Metals, GDB Inc., 100 Designs, ASV, and Robbie for letting us train at his track before we got here.
That paid off. Landon Gordon gets the gold. Gonna look for the number 4 of Luke Fowler, who collects the silver medal in this moto. So come on up, Luke. Luke rode well, and for that he earns the silver. Let's hear it for Luke Fowler. Good ride, Luke. Take me through that race. How'd it go?
Oh, yeah, I got a decent start. I passed Landon once, then he took off. I got caught with a few lap riders.
Cool. Who do you want to thank?
My mom, my dad, KTM Orange Brigade, Answer, Scott, 60, Brap Supply, Dave Kilgore, Gene Stahl, Dunlop, PR2, Lynx. That's it.
There it is, folks. Luke Fowler, second place in 65. And looking for Alvin Hillen, who took third on the number 22. Here he is. We've been quite lucky with the weather so far, not just today, but if you remember, last year actually was quite nice all week. And to be 6:30, almost 7 o'clock, feeling this good is quite good. It led to good racing. Riders can battle, including this rider who fought his way up to third. Let's hear it for Alvin Hillen. How's that bronze feel? Is that good to get up on the box?
Yeah.
Tell me about your moto.
Well, I didn't get the greatest start, but got into third and just held my race.
Cool. Who do you want to thank, Alvin?
Mom, dad, Clever Hair Suspension, sister, Pax Racing, Loretta Motorsports, Mika Metals, DT Lynn air filters, Bill's pipes, and everybody else. Thanks you.
All right, there it is. Let's hear it for Alvin taking third in 65. Looking good. So that will do it for our racing here on a Wednesday. It has been spectacular this week. Great weather, track prep, great racing. What more could you ask for? How about another day of it? We'll send it up to the tower and set the deck for a great day on Thursday.
No doubt about it. Thanks a lot, Jason Wygant, and a great day it is on behalf of you, my good friend.